Alright you guys, well today I have for you this 2014 Acura TL. We'll go around this car, show you what it's all about. I've always been interested in this car. I used to own an Infiniti G35 and I kind of cross-shopped that car with the TL, but I've never actually driven one of these before today. So I've always been kind of interested in this car and finally got to see what it's all about. You do got these 19-inch wheels. And this is the highest trim of the TL. It is the advanced package with the upgraded 3.7 liter V6. And it also has the super handling all-wheel drive. We'll pop the trunk real quick. Kind of a unique shape to the trunk there. And it's decent. Actually, I was expecting it to be a little bit bigger in the trunk, but you know, it's not too bad, I suppose. You do get this little underfloor thing with your spare tire and tools, and doesn't look like the seats fold down, but you do get a little pass-through in there. But we'll close up this trunk and we'll hop into the back seat here. All right, so back seat is a little bit cramped, but not bad. It's definitely still doable. You might expect it to be a little bit bigger than it actually is, but it's not too bad. Pretty nice materials back here. I like these leather padded armrests. All the trim work looks really good. We'll pop the hood, show you the engine really quick. All right, so this is the 3.7 liter V6. So it makes 305 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. It is paired to a 6-speed automatic. You could get a 3.5 liter V6, slightly smaller displacement, that made like 280 horsepower. But this 3.7 liter V6 is definitely the one I would get. It's a fairly significant power increase, like 25 more horsepower. So yeah, pretty good numbers. Definitely competitive with other sports sedans of the time. But we'll close up the hood here. All right, let's hop in. So we'll start it up. It does have push to start. All right, this Acura TL only has 45,000 miles on it, which is pretty unheard of for a 2014. That's less than 5,000 miles a year, so it's in good condition for what it is. All right, and this interior is a little bit button crazy. That was kind of typical for luxury cars from sort of back in this 2000s, early 2010s era. It's a little bit confusing if you're like driving and just want to make a quick adjustment to maybe your climate control or your song or something. I'm sure you get used to it eventually, but just a little bit confusing at first. You do got your climate controls on the side, dual zone. You do got your mode for the climate control on each side. It kind of shows up on this little screen right here. You do got your fan speed right here, and also your defrost controls on this side and your AC. It's a little bit jumbled up in my opinion, but you know, it gets the job done. You also get this screen right here, which actually it shuts off if you don't agree right away or press OK right there. It's basically mostly just for your nav system, and it's a pretty dated kind of nav system. It's not the highest quality, but the screen actually does a couple of other things. If I go to info, you can view traffic incidents, which is kind of interesting. But if I actually go over to this other page, you get a calendar. You also have scenic road information, so it maps out scenic roads for like every state. It has them pre-programmed, which is pretty interesting. I haven't really seen anything like that before, and you can like navigate to them, which yeah, pretty cool. You also have a calculator in here, but it's very non-intuitive to use. You just kind of have to like use this little scroll wheel to use it, which your phone will probably do a better job of that. You do get the ELS sound system, which also sounds really good. You do get your shifter, just a typical automatic shifter. And you do get a nice backup camera. It has guidelines, fairly modern, fairly good. You also have a sport mode if I go all the way down, but we'll put it in park right there. You also get cooled and heated seats, 3 level each. You get a little power outlet right there. It's kind of hidden. You get this little tiny storage area, not very usable, but you also get some storage pockets kind of hidden behind here. And you do get a center console. It's decent, gets the job done. You get a power outlet, an aux port, and this little USB thing right here. I noticed these turn signals feel very high quality. More high quality than like typical Honda products. Memory seats, all the nice luxury features you'd want and expect. You also get a sunroof, which is pretty nice. But I think we'll take this Acura TL on the road, talk about how it drives. All right, so setting off. And this car surprised me actually in a few ways that I wasn't really expecting. Get out on the road here. It's actually really punchy and pretty fast. I went into this thinking this was going to be like a more softly tuned version of the Honda Accord or something, but to my surprise, it's actually quite the opposite. It's very spry. And it's pretty fun to drive. It's pretty like playful in the steering. It's got that really like precise, like kind of throw it around feel, but it's also at the same time like very smooth, very luxurious. Feels like Acura from the 2000s or 2010s. I test drove a TSX some years ago, and this feels very similar to that in the steering. Nice like chunky weight to it, nice and heavy, but also just like blends nice luxury to it at the same time. Hear that VTEC, and this thing pulls like crazy. In ways I really wasn't expecting this to be as fast as it is. It really kind of like launches you back in your seat. It's pretty surprising. And this 6-speed automatic is also really good. Very snappy shifting automatic. Having those really sporty automatics is kind of like a new thing. And this automatic is just really quick shifting through its gears. I will say it's not always the most seamless feeling. Sometimes you feel kind of like it stutters a bit when it shifts from 1 to 2. And if you don't hit the gas pedal like exactly right, it might sort of shift a little strangely. So it's not always the most seamless. I notice it also if you go to need more power, it'll kick down for you, but then it'll be really quick to kind of leap back into its top gear. But overall, it's a very intuitive and very sporty automatic. Like unexpectedly sporty, in my opinion. This accelerator pedal is like really responsive. It's one of those like floor mounted accelerators that like comes out of the floor. It's got a nice weight to it. Like it feels very solid when you go to step on it. It's not like loose or vague, and just immediately responsive. It's a little bit jumpy sometimes, but it's still like pretty easy to modulate. It's pretty easy to sort of control how much power you want, even though it is like super sharp. They made it still like easy to control. Yeah, this thing, it like takes off really easily and quickly. Try out some more power. This thing is just a riot. I mean, you would not expect it to be as fast as it is. The visibility in here is also really good. Get a perfectly clear view of the road. The front hood is completely hidden out of sight. Very clear open back window. Side mirrors are a little bit tiny, but they get the job done. They're not bad. Overall, like good visibility in here. I'm pretty impressed with it. And in terms of size, it just feels like about the same size as like a Honda Accord from this time. So not too difficult to drive at all. The braking feel is pretty normal bite like halfway into the pedal. Nothing too crazy about them. They are a little bit shaky in the brake pedal, like just stopping from a higher speed, they do shake the car just a little bit. But overall, pretty normal braking. We'll talk about the handling up here. I mean, this car is just a beast through the corners. Again, you just like wouldn't expect that from this car, but it's pretty surprising. You can feel that all-wheel drive system like kind of rotating through the corner like really sharply, precisely. We'll try this corner right here, see how it is. And it's really good, honestly. Nice chunky steering through the corner. We'll try this other corner right here. And just like fantastic. Definitely really competitive with other sports sedans. They really had a good formula with this TL. It was kind of sad to see it go away. Even like the new TLX, it doesn't quite have this like really sharp, sporty kind of feel. This car is just like really engaging. That automatic is slightly jerky between 1 to 2, but for the most part it's fairly smooth and intuitive. Still really like it. These pillars are a little bit big when I'm going around these corners, I notice. But in regular day-to-day driving, they're not a huge deal. We'll try checking out our turning radius here really quick. So cut the wheel all the way. And it's a little bit of a big turning radius, just slightly slightly wider than I'd like, but not terrible or anything. Still definitely manageable. And just love like punching this engine. I mean, really smooth, but like tons of power, tons of torque to it. Lots of character to it. We'll get back on the road here. I love it when you hear that VTEC crossover. I always thought that was kind of like a joke with Hondas, but in this car you can really notice it and feel it, and it is just a lot of fun. I'll try this corner. Yeah, very good. Very inspiring, like nicely hunkered down through the corner. Wheels grip the road really well. Steering is nice and communicative through the corner. And overall, just a really good and well-balanced car to drive. These paddle shifters are actually not bad either. I think we'll try those in a little bit. Just to demonstrate, I can't really go fast now, but try to downshift. See, they're pretty good. They respond like not immediately, but still pretty quickly. Especially from again, like back in this like early 2010s era. Car companies didn't really focus on stuff like this, but in this car it's like not bad. Try putting the shifter in sport mode. So right away, kind of notice it really holds out the gears a little bit longer. Try taking this car on the highway, see how it does. All right. Wow. All right. Very quick. Put the shifter back in drive for now. And handles highway speeds pretty good. The cabin isn't the most refined, I'll say. I do feel some vibrations every now and then kind of transmitting into the cabin. And the wind noise is a little bit loud in here, especially at higher speeds. So it's not like the most refined. Like I said, they made it so that you can feel the road. It's not just totally isolated. Like, you can definitely feel bumps. You can feel the road you're driving over. And there's another Acura TL. It's actually tuned pretty sporty in the suspension. Like, it's decently plush, but you can still feel the road, which I kind of like personally. Handles these corners really good. Very sharp, very linear through the turn. Alright, we'll try our off-ramp up here, see how it does. Alright. Yeah. Very sharp, as you can tell. Alright, you guys. Well, I think I'll end the video a little bit up here. Pretty sure I talked about everything with this 2014 Acura TL. Love driving it. I love like the hefty steering it has. And I love like the sharp throttle input. And the really good handling it has. I mean, you can tell the all-wheel drive definitely helps it a lot through the corners. I think I'll park it over here. All right. Yeah, and just a really nice car to drive. I went into this thinking it would just be like an Accord but softly tuned. And it actually is nothing like that. It's very sporty, very sharp, a lot of aggression from this car that you wouldn't really expect. I really love the nice punchy V6 with that nice like VTEC crossover. In many ways, I prefer this Acura TL over some of like the newest cars. This just has a lot of character, a lot of spirit to it. It definitely leans on like the sportier, more brash side of things. But it's luxurious in areas where it really counts. So yeah, it's just a nice blend of everything. Just a really nice, well-balanced sports sedan with some cool tricks up its sleeve, I'd say. But all right, we'll shut it off and we'll hop out. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.